I didn't know that 3 simple hand gestures would mark me for death. My hands were moving in slow, deliberate sign language across the white tablecloth, and every single person at the table had gone completely silent. Not the comfortable kind of silence. The dangerous kind. The kind that makes your survival instincts scream run. But let me back up, because you need to understand how I got here. How a broke waitress from Atlanta ended up signing to a vampire prince in the middle of the French Quarter's most expensive restaurant on Christmas Eve. My name is Sloane Winters, and I was 3 weeks away from losing everything. The medical bills from my emergency appendectomy 2 years ago had swallowed my life whole. $15,000 in debt. Collection agencies calling every morning. Threats of lawsuits. I was working double shifts at Evangeline's, barely sleeping, surviving on whatever food the kitchen was going to throw away anyway. Christmas Eve was supposed to be good tip money. Wealthy families celebrating, guilty about their privilege, generous with cash. I needed every single dollar. I was refilling water glasses in Section 3 when the temperature in the restaurant dropped 10 degrees. They entered like winter itself had taken human form. Everyone in Evangeline's went still. The manager rushed forward, practically bowing. The other servers stepped back, relief flooding their faces when they realized the vampire party wasn't their table. It was mine. I'd heard rumors about vampires in New Orleans. Everyone had. The Ashenfords owned half the city, controlled the other half. But I'd never served them before. There were 7 of them. Pale. Beautiful. Terrifying. They moved with the kind of confidence that comes from knowing you're the apex predator in every room you enter. The host seated them at my best table, the one by the window overlooking Jackson Square. Christmas lights twinkled outside like nothing dangerous was happening inside. I grabbed my notepad, forced my hands to stop shaking, and approached. That's when I saw him. He sat at the center of the table, surrounded by the others, but somehow completely alone. White hair. Sharp features. Eyes that looked about 28 but felt ancient. He was dressed in an expensive black suit, hands folded in his lap, staring at the table like he wanted to disappear into it. The woman next to him was talking about him. Not to him. About him. Of course Cassian won't eat anything substantial. He never does in public. Just bring him water. The man across from him laughed. Does he even have preferences? I've never heard him express one. They were talking like he wasn't sitting right there. I watched his jaw tighten. Watched his hands grip his knees under the table. Watched him become smaller and smaller while surrounded by people who should have protected him. I knew that feeling. I'd lived it in 12 different foster homes. The blonde man at the head of the table looked up at me. His eyes were ice and calculation. Everything about him said king. We'll have the tasting menu. All of us. You can decide his portions. Something in me snapped. I turned to the young man they'd been ignoring. I made eye contact. And I lifted my hands and signed, smooth and clear, "What would you like?" The entire table went dead silent. His eyes went wide, shock and something like hope flooding his face. The king's voice cut through the quiet like a blade. "Where did you learn that?" My heart was hammering, but I kept my eyes on the young man. He was staring at me like I was the first real thing he'd seen in years. His hands came up slowly, hesitant, like he was testing whether I was real. "You can understand me?" I nodded and signed back, every word. Something shifted in his expression. Decades of loneliness cracking open. He signed again, faster now, desperate. "No one has asked me what I want in 27 years. I'm asking now," I said out loud, then signed it too. The woman next to him leaned forward. "This is highly irregular. The king was watching me with an expression I couldn't read. Not quite angry. Not quite intrigued. Something calculating and cold. "What's your name?" he asked. "Sloane Winters, sir." "And where exactly did you learn sign language, Miss Winters?" I swallowed hard. The truth felt too vulnerable, but the lie came easily. I had a sister who was deaf. I learned for her. The young man's hands moved again. Had? We were separated by the foster system. I haven't found her yet. His expression crumbled into something devastated and understanding. The king watched the exchange, then smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. How fortunate. My son has been looking for someone who speaks his language. Son. The Vampire King's son. I looked at the young man again. Cassian. He was signing something else now, small and almost hidden. "Please don't stop talking to me." My chest ached. I took his order. He asked for the salmon, extra lemon, no capers. Specific. Detailed. Like he'd been holding on to preferences no one cared about for years. When I walked away to put in their orders, my hands were shaking for entirely different reasons. The dinner lasted 2 hours. Every time I came back to the table, Cassian watched me like I was oxygen. The others grew colder. The king grew more interested. When they finally left, the king placed a folded $100 bill on the table. "For your excellent service." I thought it was over. I thought the danger would end when they left the restaurant. Then I reached into my apron pocket for my tips at the end of my shift and felt paper I hadn't put there. A black envelope. Heavy, expensive cardstock. An embossed silver seal. Inside was a card with one sentence in elegant script. "The king requests your presence at the Ashenford estate tomorrow at sunset. Refusal is not an option." And underneath, in different handwriting, rougher, more desperate, "Please come." I stared at that card under the flickering streetlight outside Evangeline's, Christmas music playing faintly from a bar down the street, and realized my life had just become something I didn't recognize. Have you ever made a choice that changed everything? Tell me in the comments what you would have done. Because the next night, I walked up to the Ashenford estate, and nothing was ever the same. The Ashenford estate looked like something out of a Gothic fairy tale. 3 stories of black iron and stone, wrapped in Christmas lights that somehow made it look more sinister instead of festive. Garden District Mansion. Old money. Old power. Old monsters. I stood at the gate at sunset, exactly as the invitation demanded, wearing my only clean dress and shoes I'd repaired with super glue. I'd spent all night researching vampires. Everything I found was contradictory. Some sites said they were myths. Others said they controlled governments. One thing was consistent: once you entered their world, you didn't leave unchanged. The gate opened without me touching it. A woman in a gray uniform appeared. Human, I thought. Her eyes were dull, her movements mechanical. "Follow me. Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't touch anything. Don't make eye contact with anyone except the king." We walked through halls that smelled like old wood and something metallic I didn't want to identify. Paintings of severe-looking people lined the walls. Their eyes seemed to follow me. Maybe they actually did. I passed other servants. They didn't look at me. Didn't acknowledge me. It was like walking through a house full of ghosts. The woman stopped at a heavy wooden door, knocked twice, and left without a word. "Enter," a voice called from inside. The king sat behind a desk made of dark wood, reading a leather-bound book. He didn't look up immediately. A power play. Making me wait. Making me feel small. When he finally closed the book and met my eyes, I understood why people feared him. Miss Winters, thank you for accepting my invitation. Like I'd had a choice. You're wondering why you're here, he continued. Let me be direct. My son has lived 28 years in silence. He's been taught by tutors, trained in combat, educated in history and politics. But he can't interact with our human business partners. Can't attend functions. Can't represent this family in any meaningful public capacity. He stood, walking to the window. You communicated with him in minutes better than anyone has in decades. I'm prepared to offer you a position. $10,000 a month. You'll serve as his interpreter. Teach him to navigate human spaces. Be available whenever he needs to communicate. My mind reeled. $10,000. I could pay off my debt in 2 months. Be free in half a year. What's the catch? His smile was sharp. You'll live here. On the estate. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You'll accompany him to meetings, dinners, events. You'll be his voice in a world that requires one. And if I say no, then you leave, and we never speak again. But your debt remains. Your struggle continues. And my son returns to his isolation. It was manipulation. Obvious, cold manipulation. But it was also $10,000. I need to think about. She'll do it. I turned. Cassian stood in the doorway, and the breath left my lungs. In the restaurant, I'd noticed he was handsome. Here, in the soft light of his father's study, he was devastating. He moved into the room, eyes locked on mine, and I felt the temperature drop. He started signing before he even reached me. Please say yes. Please. I'm so tired of being invisible. The desperation in his hands broke something in me. Okay, I whispered. I'll do it. The relief that flooded his face was almost painful to witness. Dominic nodded once. Excellent. Your room is prepared. You start immediately. He left his own study, leaving me alone with Cassian. The silence stretched between us. Then his hands moved. Thank you. You have no idea what this means. I think I do, I said, signing along. I've been invisible too. Something shifted in his expression. Recognition. Connection. He moved closer. Can we talk? Really talk? I have 28 years of words saved up. I smiled. Where? He led me through corridors I'd never remember, up a staircase lined with books, into a library that belonged in a museum. Shelves stretched to a vaulted ceiling. A fireplace crackled. Leather chairs. The smell of old paper. He gestured for me to sit, then settled across from me, hands already moving. Why did you talk to me? In the restaurant. No one talks to me. Everyone should be talked to. Seen. Heard. Even if hearing looks different. His hands stilled. Then, I watched you. Before that night. Through the restaurant window. 4 weeks. My stomach flipped. What? I memorized your schedule. Learned your name from the other servers. I knew you worked double shifts on Thursdays. I knew you always gave the leftover bread to the homeless man on the corner. That should have scared me. It did scare me. But there was something in his eyes that wasn't predatory. It was lonely. That's a little intense, I said carefully. His hands dropped. I'm sorry. I know how that sounds. It's just, you were kind when you didn't have to be. You noticed people. I wanted to understand what that looked like. And now I can't stop thinking about talking to you. His hands trembled slightly. I've never wanted anything the way I want to keep having conversations with you. The firelight cast shadows across his face. I noticed things I hadn't before. The way he didn't quite blink enough. The absolute stillness when he wasn't signing. The darkness swimming behind his eyes. Then I saw the library door. Deep scratch marks gouged into the wood. 4 parallel lines. Like claws. I must have stared too long, because he followed my gaze and his expression shuddered. That was me. When I get angry, I lose control. You did that? He nodded. 3 months ago. Father locked me in here for 2 days to teach me discipline. I tried to break out. Did it work? The discipline? His smile was bitter. He signed, no. It just taught me the door was stronger than I am. He stood abruptly, turned away. Even with his back to me, I could see the tension in his shoulders. His hands appeared at his sides where I could still see them. I haven't fed in 3 days. Everything in me went still. Father thinks hunger will motivate me to try speaking again. Like if I'm desperate enough, my voice will just magically work. Does it? Work, I mean? He turned back. The firelight caught his eyes, and for just a second, they looked darker. Endless. No. It just makes everything harder. Makes the control slip. Control over what? He stepped closer. I could hear his heartbeat now. Slower than mine. Patient. Ancient. Over the hunger. Over the instincts. Over the part of me that notices you smell different than other humans. My pulse jumped. Different how? His hands moved slowly, like sunrise. Like something I've never been allowed to have. It makes the hunger worse. The distance between us felt like static electricity. Dangerous. Charged. Maybe you should eat something then, I whispered. He smiled, and I saw the edge of his fangs. That's the problem. Right now, all I want to eat is you. Would you stay in a house with a starving vampire? Let me know what you think below. 2 weeks passed like a fever dream. I moved into the estate, into a room 3 times the size of my old apartment. I spent every day with Cassian, teaching him modern slang and sign language, learning vampire history from his hands. We had entire conversations in silence that felt louder than anything I'd ever spoken aloud. He taught me that vampires weren't burned by sunlight, just weakened. That they did have reflections. That most of the myths were propaganda they'd spread themselves to keep humans afraid and distant. I taught him that emojis had sign language equivalents, that sarcasm was a love language, that not all silence was empty. We were becoming friends. Maybe more than friends. I didn't want to examine that too closely. But the rest of the estate hated me. The vampire court called me the human pet in whispers they thought I couldn't hear. They'd go silent when I entered rooms. They'd sign insults right in front of me, not knowing I understood vampire sign language now too. Cassian was teaching me everything. One of them scared me more than the others. Victor was Dominic's senior advisor. Ancient. Cold. He watched me like a scientist studying a bug. 3 days ago, he cornered me in the hallway. Tell me, Miss Winters. What was your mother's maiden name? Chin, I lied. I didn't know why I lied. His smile said he knew. And your father's family? Where are they from? I don't have family. I told you. Foster care. Everyone comes from somewhere. His eyes were glacial. Everyone has bloodlines. A human servant pulled me aside later that night. Older woman, kind eyes. Be careful. Victor investigates everyone who gets close to the family. If you have secrets, he'll find them. But I didn't have secrets. I was nobody. A waitress with debt and a dead-end life. Still, her warning itched under my skin. That's why I went to the records room. I told myself I was just looking for my employment contract. Checking the fine print. Making sure I understood what I'd signed. The records room was in the east wing, behind a door that wasn't locked. File cabinets lined the walls. Everything labeled, organized, obsessively detailed. I found the employee files easily. Found mine. It was 4 inches thick. I'd filled out a 2-page application. This was a full dossier. My hands shook as I opened it. Photographs of people I'd never seen. A man and a woman, young, smiling. A handwritten note clipped to the photo, parents. Deceased. Car accident, 1995. My parents. I'd never seen a picture of them. Never knew what they looked like. I looked like her. Same eyes. Same chin. Same dark hair. Underneath were genealogy charts going back 6 generations. Medical records. Blood test results with notes in the margins. A highlighted section, AB negative. Rare. Consistent with seer lineage. And at the bottom, in handwriting I recognized from Dominic's signed documents, Winters bloodline. Possible seer heritage. Monitor closely. Do not reveal until abilities manifest. The room tilted. Seer heritage. What did that even mean? You weren't supposed to find that. I spun around. Cassian stood in the doorway. His expression was guilty. Devastated. My hands moved before my brain caught up. Did you know they were investigating me? He hesitated. That hesitation was answer enough. I signed harder, sharper. Did you know? His hands moved slowly. I knew Father was interested in you. I didn't know why. I swear I didn't know about this. You didn't think to warn me? Tell me I was being researched like a lab rat? I'm sorry. His hands trembled. I thought if I told you, you'd leave. And I couldn't. I can't lose you. So you let me walk around blind while your father built a file on my dead parents? I was being selfish. I know. But Sloane, please understand. Understand what? That I'm not here because you wanted a friend? I'm here because of my bloodline? That's not true. You're here because you're the first person in decades who saw me as human. I turned away from him, trying to breathe. Trying to think. That's when I saw the mirror on the wall. Cassian's reflection stood behind me, exactly where he was. But in the mirror, behind him, there were shadows. Dark shapes that looked almost like people. Watching. Waiting. I blinked. They were gone. My heart hammered. Did you see that? See what? In the mirror. There were. So the prince's pet has found her file. Victor stood in the doorway now, his smile sharp enough to cut. Let me save you the trouble of reading the rest. Your grandmother, Margot Winters, was a seer. Powerful one. Could see vampire souls, true natures, past sins. Your mother suppressed the gift, ran from it, pretended to be normal. But you inherited it. Dormant. Sleeping. I couldn't breathe. That's insane. Is it? You just saw something in that mirror, didn't you? Something that wasn't there? How did he know that? Victor stepped closer. Seers awaken when they bond with vampires. Emotional connection triggers the gift. And you've been bonding with our dear prince for 2 weeks now, haven't you? Cassian moved between us. Leave her alone. Oh, I'm not here to hurt her. I'm here to welcome her to her true purpose. Victor's eyes glittered. Did you really think this was about kindness? About love? The king needs a seer. Someone to look into the past and find out who cursed his son. And now that you're bonded to Cassian, your abilities are waking up. Whether you want them to or not. I'm not bonded to anyone. I'm just. The vision hit me like a freight train. Blood on marble floors. Screaming. A woman standing over a crib, her hands glowing with light. A baby crying without sound. The woman turned, and I was looking at my own face. No. My grandmother's face. My face. Sometimes monsters are easier to save than people, she whispered. Then darkness. I came back to reality on my knees. Cassian was holding me upright, signing frantically. What happened? What did you see? Victor smiled, and it was the cruelest thing I'd ever seen. Welcome to your inheritance, Miss Winters. Let's see what other secrets your blood remembers. If you discovered you had powers you never knew about, would you use them or run? Drop your thoughts below. I woke up in Cassian's bed. For a moment, I didn't know where I was. Then I saw him sitting in a chair by the window, backlit by moonlight, staring at me like he was afraid I'd disappear. When he saw I was awake, relief crashed across his face. How long was I out? I signed, my hands heavy. 3 hours. You collapsed. I carried you here. My head throbbed. The vision still burned behind my eyes. My grandmother. A baby. Blood and light and screaming. I need to be alone. His face crumbled. Please don't shut me out. I turned away from him. Pulled the blanket over my head like a child. I heard him stand, hesitate, then leave. The door closed with a click that sounded like heartbreak. 3 days passed. They confined me to a bedroom suite for my safety while the visions stabilize. A kind way of saying I was a prisoner. Meals appeared on trays. Servants came and went without speaking. I was alone with my thoughts, and they were poison. I had powers I didn't understand. A heritage I'd never asked for. And somewhere in my bloodline was a woman who'd done something terrible to the one person in this house who'd shown me genuine kindness. Cassian tried to visit 7 times. I watched the doorknob turn. Watched his shadow under the door. Once, I saw his fingers slip a note underneath. I'm sorry. Please talk to me. Please. I didn't answer. On the 4th day, Dominic summoned me. 2 guards escorted me to a room I'd never seen before. Circular. No windows. Candles everywhere. It smelled like incense and something older. Something that made my skin crawl. Dominic stood at the center, hands clasped behind his back. Sit, Miss Winters. I sat in the single chair facing him. Felt like an interrogation. Your visions are accelerating. That means your seer abilities are awakening faster than anticipated. We need to discuss why you're here. The real reason. My mouth was dry. I'm listening. 28 years ago, a seer came to this estate. She claimed she wanted to bless my newborn son. I allowed it. I was arrogant. Foolish. I thought her gifts could ensure his future. He began to pace. Instead, she stood over his crib and cursed him. She said, "A voice built on compulsion deserves silence." My son has been mute ever since. Unable to speak. Unable to access the most fundamental vampire ability, vocal compulsion. My chest tightened. That seer's name was Margot Winters. Your grandmother. The room spun. That's impossible. My grandmother, I never met her. She died before I was born. She died running from me. From the consequences of what she'd done. His eyes were ice. Your family took my son's voice. You owe me his cure. I don't know how to cure anyone. I don't even understand what I am. You'll learn. Seers can undo what other seers have done. Especially blood relatives. Your power comes from the same source as hers. I stood on shaking legs. You want me to break a curse my grandmother cast on a baby? That's insane. Why would she even do that? Vengeance, he said simply. I rejected her visions. Sent her away. She punished me through my son. Something about that didn't fit right. But before I could question it, Dominic moved closer. Let me show you what happened. Vampires of my age can project memories. See for yourself what your bloodline did. He pressed 2 fingers to my forehead. The world dissolved. I was standing in the same room, but 28 years ago. Younger Dominic held a bundle, a baby. Cassian. A woman stood nearby. Dark hair. My face. Margot. She looked terrified. Tell me, Dominic commanded. Which of my children will overthrow me? Please, Margot whispered. Don't make me look. These visions aren't meant to be weaponized. You'll look, or I'll kill the child right now and try again with another heir. Horror flooded her face. She was pregnant. I could see it now. Pregnant with my mother. Her hands glowed as she looked at baby Cassian. Then her face went white. The silent sun will end your reign. Dominic's expression turned murderous. Then he won't live to fulfill that prophecy. He drew a blade. Margot screamed, no. Her hands exploded with light. Silence is your survival, child. When you find your voice, he'll kill you. The curse locked into place. Baby Cassian's cries went silent. Dominic roared in rage, but Margot was already running, her pregnant belly slowing her down, escaping into the night. The memory released me. I staggered back, gasping. You see? Dominic said quietly. Your grandmother chose vengeance over an innocent child. Will you be like her, or will you break your family's curse? Guilt crushed my chest. My grandmother had cursed a baby. Cassian had suffered for 28 years because of my family. I'll try, I whispered. I'll try to break it. Relief crossed Dominic's face. Good. We'll begin immediately. The ritual room filled with vampire court members. Candles arranged in circles. Ancient books opened to pages I couldn't read. Victor stood to one side, watching with hungry eyes. Then Cassian was brought in. He saw me and his hands flew up. What's happening? I couldn't meet his eyes. Signed, I'm going to try to help you. To give you your voice back. His expression shifted through confusion, hope, fear. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know about your grandmother. I know. It's not your fault. Dominic began chanting in a language that felt like it had teeth. The candles flickered. My blood felt hot. Place your hand over his heart, Victor instructed. Call on your grandmother's power. Undo what she did. I reached out. Cassian's chest was cold under my palm. His heartbeat slow and steady. I closed my eyes. Tried to find whatever seer power was supposed to live in my veins. And the vision came. But not the one they wanted me to see. I saw the full memory. The part Dominic had edited out. Margot standing over the crib after the curse, tears streaming down her face, whispering, "I'm sorry, little one. But he'll kill you if you fulfill that prophecy. Silence will protect you. When you find your voice, make sure he can't hurt you anymore. Live long enough to end his reign another way." Live. She hadn't cursed him for revenge. She'd cursed him to save his life. The prophecy was real. The silent son would end Dominic's reign. And Dominic knew it. That's why he wanted the curse broken. So he could kill Cassian the moment he could speak. My eyes flew open. I broke the ritual circle and staggered back, the truth burning in my mind. Cassian wasn't cursed by my grandmother. He was saved. And if I helped Dominic break that curse, I'd be signing Cassian's death warrant. I looked at the king, then at Cassian, and signed the 3 words that would change everything. I know everything. Dominic's expression shifted. Understanding. Calculation. Rage. His eyes went completely black. Then you've outlived your usefulness. What would you do? Save someone by keeping them cursed, or risk everything for the truth? Tell me below. Dominic moved faster than my eyes could track. 1 second he was across the room. The next, his hand was around my throat, lifting me off the ground. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't scream. You foolish girl. Did you think I'd let you walk away knowing the truth? Darkness crept into the edges of my vision. Then Cassian slammed into his father like a battering ram. They went down in a tangle of limbs and rage. Cassian's fist connected with Dominic's face with a crack that echoed through the ritual room. The vampire court members scattered. Cassian grabbed my hand and ran. We tore through corridors I didn't recognize. Behind us, Dominic's voice roared commands. Footsteps thundered. Guards were coming. Cassian pulled me through a servant's entrance, down stone steps, into a tunnel that smelled like earth and rot. We ran in complete darkness. I had to trust he could see. We emerged in an alley 3 blocks from the estate. Rain was starting to fall. He didn't stop running until we reached an abandoned church in the Garden District. Boarded windows. Crumbling stone. A bell tower that leaned like it was tired of standing. Cassian forced open a side door and pulled me inside. The moment we were alone, he collapsed against the wall, chest heaving. I stood in the middle of the empty sanctuary, rain beginning to leak through holes in the roof, and reality crashed down. I was a fugitive. Dominic wanted me dead. I had nowhere to go. Cassian's hands moved in the dim light. Why did you stop the ritual? Because I saw the truth. The real memory. Not the version your father showed me. What truth? I told him everything. The full vision. The prophecy. Margot's real words. The protection disguised as a curse. Your father will kill you if you ever speak. The curse is the only thing keeping you alive. His hands froze mid-sign. Then he slammed his fist into the wall hard enough to crack the plaster. He signed so violently I could barely follow, so I choose between silence and death. That's not a choice. That's a cage. I know. I'm sorry. His laugh was silent and broken. He signed, my whole life, I thought I was cursed. defective, wrong. Turns out I was just being kept alive by a woman who pitied me. She didn't pity you. She saved you. For what? For this? To live like a ghost? To never speak, never scream, never tell my father exactly what I think of him? The anguish in his hands made my chest ache. He turned away from me, shoulders shaking. For the first time, I realized he was crying. Silent tears he couldn't sob out loud. I moved closer, touched his shoulder. He spun and pulled me into a desperate embrace that felt like drowning. We stayed like that for a long time. The rain falling harder. The church growing darker. Then something shifted in me. The seer power that had been flickering awake suddenly roared to life. The visions hit like lightning. Future 1, Cassian speaking, his voice rich and beautiful. Dominic's blade through his heart a second later. Future 2, running forever. City to city. Always hunted. Always looking over our shoulders. Growing old while he stayed frozen in time. Future 3, me standing between Cassian and his father. Blood spreading across my chest. Cassian screaming silently over my body. None of them ended well. I gasped, staggered. Cassian caught me. What did you see? Every future where we survive. There aren't many. His expression hardened. Then we make a new future. How? I don't know. But I won't let you die for me. And I won't live in this cage anymore. The rain was coming through the ceiling now, steady and cold. It hit the stone floor like a heartbeat. Our shadows stretched across the wall, flickering in the candlelight from the votive stands that somehow still held half-burned candles. Then another vision came. Different from the others. A fourth option I hadn't seen before. A seer and a vampire, hands clasped. Light flowing from her into him. The curse transferring, rewriting itself. His voice returning. Her voice fading. There's one more way, I whispered. What? If a seer willingly takes a vampire's curse into herself, she can rewrite it. You'd have your voice. Your father's prophecy would be broken because you could speak without threatening him. I'd carry the silence instead. His hands flew up so fast they blurred. Absolutely not. Cassian. No. I won't let you sacrifice yourself for me. Then what do we do? Live like this forever? Die running? His jaw clenched. He signed, we fight. We find another way. There is no other way. I've seen the futures. This is the only one where you survive and get your voice. I don't want my voice if it costs yours. It's not the same. You were born to speak. I chose silence for years and survived. I can do it again. You don't understand what you're offering. Then explain it to me. He pulled me closer. Signed against my collarbone where I had to look down to see, silence isn't just not speaking. For you, it would be losing the ability to ever make sound again. No voice. No laughter. No screams. Your vocal cords would seal permanently. You'd live the rest of your human life in absolute quiet. I looked up at him. At the pain carved into his face by 28 years of exactly that. Would it save you? Yes. But then I'll do it. He made a sound. Not words, but a broken exhale that sounded like anguish. Then he pulled me tight against him, and for the first time, I felt his fangs brush against my throat. Not in hunger. In desperation. His hands appeared at the edge of my vision, signing against my shoulder. There's one more option. If you become like me, we leave this world behind. Forever. No prophecies. No curses. No fathers. Just us. The fangs pressed harder. Not breaking skin. Not yet. A question. I could feel my pulse against those sharp points. One bite away from eternity. One choice away from never being human again. And I realized I was actually considering it. Would you give up your humanity for someone you love? Let me know what you'd choose. I didn't know that 3 simple hand gestures would save both our lives. But I'm getting ahead of myself again. Cassian's fangs were pressed against my throat. One bite. One choice. Eternity or nothing. I could feel my heartbeat pounding against those sharp points. His hands were shaking. Mine were steady. Do it, I whispered. The fangs broke skin. Pain flared hot and sharp. Then he jerked away violently, stumbling backward like I'd burned him. Blood trickled down my neck. Not much. Just enough to show how close we'd come. His hands flew up, furious and desperate. I can't. I won't become my father. I won't take your choice just because I'm selfish and scared and desperate. Cassian. No. He signed harder. If I turn you, I'm no better than him. Caging you in a different way. You deserve to choose your life. Not have it stolen because I couldn't let you go. Tears streaked down his face. Mine too. Then we heard them. Footsteps outside. Dozens of them. Surrounding the church. Victor's voice rang out, cold and clear. Come out, Prince. Face your father like the heir you pretend to be. Or we'll burn the church with both of you inside. We were trapped. Dawn was maybe an hour away. Even if Cassian could fight his way through Dominic's guards, I couldn't. I was human. Breakable. My mind raced. Every vision I'd seen ended in death or running or sacrifice. Then it hit me. The prophecy. The silent sun will end your reign. It never said how, I whispered. What? The prophecy. It said you'd end his reign. Not by speaking. Not by fighting. Just that you would. I don't understand. I pulled out my phone. Battery at 15%. Enough. You'll end his reign by staying silent. By letting the world see what he did. What he's been doing. I opened my social media. Hit the live stream button. My hands started moving in sign language while I spoke aloud, translating everything into the camera. My name is Sloane Winters. I'm at an abandoned church in the Garden District with Cassian Ashenford, son of the Vampire King. And I need to tell you what's been happening in this city. Cassian's eyes went wide. I told them everything. The curse. The prophecy. Margot saving a baby from his own father. 28 years of isolation and cruelty. A king so obsessed with power he'd kill his own son to keep it. The viewer count climbed. 100. 500. 2,000. Dominic Ashenford has built an empire on silence. On making people invisible. On erasing anyone who threatens him. But silence can be broken. Invisibility can end. And tonight, the truth comes out. Cassian moved beside me. Started signing into the camera. I translated. I've been voiceless my whole life. Not because I was cursed. Because I was saved. My voice was taken so I could survive. But survival isn't living. And I'm done surviving in silence. 5,000 viewers. 10,000. Outside, Victor was shouting orders. But they couldn't storm in now. Not with thousands watching live. The sun began to rise. Light broke through the broken church windows, dusty and golden. It hit Cassian, and he didn't burn. Just stood there, weaker but alive, backlit like something holy. We walked to the church doors together. Opened them. Dominic stood at the front of his guards, face twisted with rage. But he couldn't move. Couldn't attack. Not with cameras now appearing from news vans screeching to a halt. Not with the world watching. A black car pulled up. Older vampires emerged. The council. Dominic's face went white. Dominic Ashenford, the eldest, said, "You are summoned to answer for violations of the Vampire Covenant. Specifically, the attempted murder of your heir. Ancient vampire law. A king who kills his own child for power loses his crown." The silent son had ended his reign. Not with a voice. With truth. 1 month later, everything was different. Cassian stood in the same room where his father had ruled, but the energy was completely changed. The council had appointed him king under supervision. Reforming. Rebuilding. His first decree, sign language, became an official court language. He hired deaf and mute staff, both human and vampire, into positions of real power. I became his official interpreter and advisor. But more than that, partner, friend, maybe something deeper we were still figuring out. I found him one evening in his private study, standing in front of a mirror with a vocal coach. A human woman who specialized in speech therapy. They'd been working together for weeks. I watched from the doorway as he tried, over and over, to make sound. His face strained with effort. The coach patient and kind. Then something shifted. A sound emerged. Rough. Broken. Barely recognizable. But it was a word. Sloane. My name. In his voice. For the first time. I burst into tears. He turned, saw me, and his face crumpled with joy and relief. I signed through the blur, "You found your voice." He crossed the room, took my hands, and signed back, "I found it years ago. When you decided I was worth listening to." He kissed me. Soft and careful and full of everything we couldn't say in any language. When we pulled apart, I noticed a letter on his desk. Embossed return address from Seattle. "What's that?" He handed it to me. The name on the envelope made my heart stop, Kimora Waters. My foster sister. The one who'd taught me sign language. The one I'd been searching for. She was alive. Working at a vampire refugee center in Seattle. And she'd seen our broadcast. She wanted to see me. Cassian signed, "I found her for you. Called in favors. She's waiting whenever you're ready." I looked at him. At this man who'd been invisible his whole life and now used his power to make others seen. "Come with me?" He smiled and signed, "Anywhere." They say love is about finding someone who speaks your language. But I learned it's about finding someone willing to learn it. In a world that worships voices, we learned that silence can be the loudest revolution. And sometimes, being seen is more powerful than being heard. Was it love, or was it fate? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if this story is moving you, share it with someone who needs to hear that they matter, even in silence. Don't forget to subscribe, because this journey isn't over. Not by a long shot. Seattle looked nothing like New Orleans. Rain instead of humidity. Mountains instead of bayous. Coffee shops on every corner instead of beignet stands. But when I walked into the Night Haven Refuge Center, holding Cassian's hand, it felt like coming home. Kimura stood by the window. Older now. 29 instead of 18. But her hands moved the same way when she saw me. Sloane? I couldn't sign back. Couldn't do anything but run to her. We collided in an embrace that erased 11 years of separation. She was crying. I was crying. And when we finally pulled apart, our hands flew faster than they ever had. I looked for you everywhere. I looked for you too. The system lost my records. I thought you'd forgotten me. Never. You taught me that everyone deserves to be heard. She looked past me to Cassian, standing awkwardly near the door, trying to give us space. Is that him? The vampire prince from the broadcast? I nodded. He's the reason I remembered what you taught me. That silence isn't empty. That being seen matters more than being heard. Kimura studied him for a long moment, then signed, "Bring him here." Cassian approached cautiously. Kimura offered her hand, and he shook it. She signed to him directly, "Thank you for finding her. For seeing her. For proving that love doesn't need a voice." Cassian's response was slow, careful, emotional. She saw me first. She saved me. I just gave her the resources to find what she'd lost. Kimura smiled, then turned back to me. How long are you staying? As long as you'll let us. We spent 3 days in Seattle. Kimura showed us the refuge, a place where supernatural beings and humans who'd been cast out could find safety. Vampires who refused to feed on unwilling humans. Humans with gifts they didn't understand. All of them invisible to the world. Just like Cassian had been. Just like I had been. On our last night, the 3 of us sat on the roof of the refuge, watching the city lights. Kimura signed, "Are you going back to New Orleans?" Cassian answered, "We have to. There's work to do. A system to rebuild. But we'll visit. Often. And you'll call?" Kimura's hands were hesitant. "I just got you back. I don't want to lose you again." I took her hand with one of mine, Cassian's with the other. "You'll never lose me again. I promise." The next morning, at the airport, Cassian pulled out a small box. "What's this?" "Open it." Inside was a necklace. A silver pendant shaped like a hand forming the sign for "I love you." I looked up at him, speechless. His hands moved. I'm still learning to say things out loud. But I wanted you to have something that says what I feel. In the language that brought us together. When did you learn the sign for love? The day I met you. I kissed him there in the terminal, travelers rushing past us, the world moving too fast around 2 people who'd learned that silence could hold entire universes. On the plane home, I got a text from Kimura. A photo. The 3 of us on the roof. Smiling. Whole. And underneath, family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up. Who listens. Who stays. I showed it to Cassian. He took my hand and signed against my palm where only I could feel it. "Thank you for showing up. For listening. For staying." "Always," I signed back. New Orleans welcomed us home with humidity and jazz music and the scent of the river. The estate felt different now. Lighter. Cassian had removed half the portraits of stern ancestors, replaced them with windows. Let light in where there'd only been shadows. Victor was gone, exiled by the council. The old guard scattered. New advisors, younger, more progressive, filled the halls. And in the center of it all, Cassian built something his father never could. A place where being different wasn't a weakness. Where silence was respected. Where everyone had a voice, even if it came from their hands instead of their throat. 6 months after Seattle, I woke to find Cassian sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at a letter. "What's wrong?" He handed it to me. It was from the council. An official decree. They were removing his supervised status. Recognizing him as full king. No restrictions. No oversight. Because in 6 months, he'd done what his father couldn't do in 3 centuries. He'd brought peace. That night, they held a coronation. A real one. I stood in the crowd, watching him take an oath in sign language that the entire court had learned. Watching him place a crown on his own head because he'd earned it, not inherited it. When it was over, he found me in the crowd. Took my hand. Led me to the balcony where the city spread out below us like scattered stars. He'd been practicing with his vocal coach. Working every day. His voice was getting stronger. He took a breath and spoke out loud, the words rough but clear. "I love you." 3 words. The first full sentence he'd ever spoken to me. I signed back through tears, "I love you too." Then say it. Out loud. "Let me hear your voice too." "I love you," I whispered. He smiled, that devastating smile that had haunted me since Christmas Eve. And he signed, again. We stood there trading "I love yous" in 2 languages, building a bridge between silence and sound, between 2 worlds that had told us we didn't belong. But we'd built our own world. Where everyone belonged. Where everyone was seen. And it started with 3 simple hand gestures in a restaurant on Christmas Eve. What would you risk for someone who saw you when the world wouldn't? Tell me in the comments. Share this story with someone who's ever felt invisible. And subscribe, because Sloane and Cassian's story is just beginning. There are more secrets in New Orleans. More battles to fight. More people who need to be seen. And we'll be here, speaking in every language that matters, making sure no one stays invisible ever again.
Thank you for watching this story to the end. If you enjoyed this story, you will surely love the next one. It's as crazier and more intriguing as you can ever imagine. So do check it out. Click on the image showing on your screen right now to watch the next one.